Okay, welcome. Oh god, my dog just jumped up for no reason. Okay, anyways, welcome back, you guys. I haven't posted in a little bit, and I noticed that we are at 2K, so yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. I very much appreciate it, and we have done well, so yeah. And I bring you this video, because I like this idea. I was gonna do it on February 20th, but kind of forgot, and yeah. Thanks. This is what if deku had a crystallization quirk. So yeah, I guess let's just begin, shall we? We begin off with Toshinori and Inko home, but Izuku is still is with them, but Izuku's just, well, not with them right there and then. And they're looking for him actually, so they're confused. Right? And let's say that he's at. Let's say that he's at. He's at his room, and they. Let's say the parents didn't know, and Izuku's in his room, and Izuku kind of avoids people a little bit. He doesn't. He enjoys talking to it. He only likes the ones that he cares about the most. If, say, Bakachan or Bakugo, whatever you call him, say with Bakugo, well, he doesn't really give, like, he just calls him Bakugo. He doesn't call him Kachan, right? And, yeah. And let's say that Izuku's reading, and his cat, because I like cats. Sorry, I had hair on my phone. You see in this image right here, or this part, he's petting a cat, so he's a cat person. So yeah. And let's say he's petting his cat. All of a sudden, let's say when he stopped petting the cat, all of a sudden his hand started turning into glass, or crystallization, you could say. And he yelled out loud, right? And let's say that he was 5, right? And when they went to the quirk doctor, they said that it hasn't developed yet, but he does have a quirk, so yeah. And he yelped out loud, or screamed out loud, right? And the parents ran upstairs because they've pretty much found him now, right? And they see Izuku's arms just pretty much turning into this hardening, or this crystallization, or whatever. And yeah. And let's say that. Hold up. Okay. Let's say that they take him to the quirk doctor, or to the doctors, and boom, they instantly got it. Or they instantly gave him an appointment, and it was real quick. The doctor gave him, let's say, a drug that cancels out their quirk for a little bit, or cancels out their quirk. So yeah. And yeah. Let's say that it took about 2 hours, and the doctor comes out with his deku, and he says, well, your son, what was his eyes look like earlier? And they said, and that's when they said, well, his eyes looked, well, let's say that they were just like white and black. But, and then he said, well, I think well, what I look at is your son has 2 quirks, and they're confused, right? And they said, wait, he does? And he says, yes. His eyes changed, right? His eyes. And let's say that he explained his first quirk. That's very noticeable, actually, in first. And let's say that he says your son has a type of hardening quirk. It could pretty much, you could say, he could harden his skin, but it will transform in a medium speed manner. I think if he trains enough, he'll be able to kind of make it out of nowhere, but, and, right. And let's say, then he says, it could be like a glassy type, or if he trains harder, it could be a stronger glass, right? So yeah. And let's say when, and then they ask, so what's his second quirk, right? And he said, well, the second quirk's something that I kind of don't know fully, but I think it's something around an observation, right? Right? And yeah. And it's not a very strong observation, right? So yeah. And yeah, pretty much. So let's say that, well, a few years go by. And let's say he's 10 and he's a pretty tall 10-year-old, right? And here, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah. And let's say one day he was, wait, what's this? Oh, this is the not posting stream. Okay, let me delete this. Okay. And let's say that, well, let's say that he, well, was just walking around and that's when out of nowhere he saw, well, let's say a villain attack. And he walked up and he sees that no one's actually around. And then he notices why. It's a giant villain and it's really in the middle of the place. And you hear people screaming in a little further away. And heroes haven't gotten there yet. But he doesn't see any. And he sees how the villain's trying to threaten, let's say, a little boy. And Izuku instantly ran over. And he's trained with his quirk. Because let's say in this series, he always has bandages on. Because time to time, his thing will just scar him. So he has a lot of scars on his arms. Right? And I should say this. So pretty much, this is kind of what his stats are. Right? I really do enjoy this. So yeah. But his stats are different in mine. So what I'm going to do is, hold up. My puppy's trying to, it's okay, buddy. Okay, so his attack's a lot. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. My phone dropped when I was trying to drop my dog. So yeah, his attack is a little bit higher. His defense is still higher than his attack. His intelligence is very good, and his agility is also very good. So yeah. And hold up, I'm trying to clean my phone. Okay, sorry. And yeah, let's say he instantly ran over there and he activated his other quirk, the little observation quirk, right? And what it does, here, let me give you a brief little summary of what it does, because he's trained this also. It pretty much gives him a little bit better, it gives him, you could say, I'm trying to think of someone that could kind of, like, okay, so I don't know any animes, I don't think, because I've seen an anime like this, but I don't remember a name. But pretty much when he, like, let's say if an attack is coming, he could see the movement first, right? And then he could dodge out of it and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much. That's what I wanted to say, pretty much. So yeah. And let's say that, well, let's say when the villain was trying to, let's say, attack the little boy, right? Because he wanted money. And this man is a very douchebag person. Out of nowhere, Izuku comes out, and Izuku is pretty much just wearing this, right? Wearing this, and let's say he pretty much just blocked it, and the man is pissed, right? And if you're asking like how he could like block this in your own head, pretty much, if you know Kirishima's origin, if you're that far in that movie or in the show, it will show how he was about to go help two girls and then Mina appeared out of nowhere. It was that villain guy. So yeah, and that just gave me an idea. Nice. Okay, and let's say that out of nowhere again, another person came out of nowhere, and it was a boy with black hair, right? And yeah, if you know who this is, you know you've pretty far in the anime with me, and I'm ready for the next season. I'm excited. So yeah, and let's say that, let's say that, when he was, smile. Sorry, but let's say that when this boy attacked, the villain kind of wanted to run, but he started fighting both of the boys. And Izuku doesn't know who this is, but he's glad. And let's say that the boy got hit back now, right? And Izuku yelled at him and said, get the little boy out of here. I'll deal with him." He said, "What? But what about?" And he says, "Don't worry about me. Just go." Right? And yeah, pretty much, right? And let's say that, let's say that, sorry, okay, there we go. I lost it. And let's say that the boy does it. He grabs the little boy and run off. And the little boy had a baseball cap, if you know where I'm going with this kid, too. And let's say, finally, a kind of a group of heroes, right, came out of nowhere. And Izuku didn't notice at all, because he's just trying to protect himself and protect everyone. And everyone's looking at him now. And people don't know who this is. They don't even think it's a pro hero. And remember, Izuku is what? I said 10? And everyone doesn't trying to think how old this kid is, right? And yeah, I kind of made them young. So, actually, hold up. I'm going to change the age. Let's say that he was 13. So, yeah, for it's not so dumb, I guess. So, he's not 10, he's 13, okay? And yeah, pretty much he is fighting. And yeah. And let's say that, out of nowhere, a little cat came out. And he really loves cats. He loves his family, loves cats, and he loves reading, and loves, let's say, sushi, right? And let's say the villain almost hurt the cat, right? And Izuku got furious. And out of nowhere, his arms started changing more. And his eyes, the yellow around it, started glowing a little bit. And the villain didn't know what was going on. And out of nowhere, Izuku's observation went stronger. He could see the attacks more fluently, right? And his arms are a lot stronger. And Izuku is attacking harder. Every time he punches, it's scratching the villain. And the villain is scared. And let's say the pro heroes are running over there. But first, one of them, they stop by the little boy and say, hold up, I'm trying to, shit. Hold up, I'm trying to remember. I know his name. I just forgot about it. Give me a sec. She yelled at him and said, Koda, what were you doing? We were looking for you. And he said, I'm sorry, I saw a man that looked hurt, right? And let's say that his parents haven't died, right? God, I can't remember his name. Koda, there. I need to get that in my head more. Koda. So yeah, right. And let's say with Koda, he looked at the boy that just took him here and said, "Who are you?" He says, "Well, I'm Eijiro Kirishima. Nice to meet you." Right? And they say thank you. And then they look and they say, "Hey, do you know who that other boy is?" And he says, "No, I just listened to him because he said get him out of here." And they say thank you. And now they rush over quickly, right? And let's say when they got there, Izuku's taking down the villain. He's breathing hard too, right? And yeah. Sorry. So yeah, pretty much. And let's say that let's say Izuku passed out, but he was still standing, right? And let's say that the children, they didn't notice that, let's say that they didn't know he was knocked out, or passed out, whatever, right? And, yeah. And let's say that, and there's ducks or geese, one of the two. And let's say that when they went over, and let's say the girl tapped him, and he didn't respond, and she said, hey, and then she noticed he's passed out, so she yelled, call the ambulance, right? They called the ambulance. People are looking at this person, and they're wondering who this kid is, right? And yeah. And let's say Bakugo is a little scared of Izuku. Because one day, Izuku has put him in place. And Bakugo is trying to beat him now. Right? So yeah. And let's say Bakugo was watching and he said, that damn nerd. Right? And yeah. But he's shriveled a little bit. And yeah. Where the mic ornament? And let's say that Koda and the boy named Kirishima were in the ambulance, right? And let's say that, see his drip. Okay, but let's say that, okay. When they got there, Izuku woke up and he said, what just happened? Right? And yeah. Pretty much. And yeah. Let's say that, when the ambulance took him into a room and they asked him what he was doing there and everything. The police came and and he explained what happened pretty much. And they were pretty shocked that this guy just out of nowhere really came and saved this little boy, right? And let's say the girl comes out now and says, "Thank you for saving the boy. His name is Koda. Koda, say hi." And Koda says hi and thank you very much. He bows down and Izuku says, "Don't worry about it. It's just what a regular hero looks. It's just what I want to be. So yeah." And yeah. And now let's do a little skip for about, let's skip about 2 months. So yeah, here, give me a sec. And with the 2 months, right, he's more talked to the boy and talk to the other boy, Hiroshima and Koda. Jesus Christ, you guys, I can't say his name right. Koda, right? And yeah, he really, has been good friends with Kirishima and Koda. God, I can't say it right. He's been good friends with Koda also. So, he's okay with it then. And let's say that, let's just say he was one day hanging out with Koda and Kirishima. And let's say that when they were hanging out of nowhere, the new character comes in. And she's Mandalay. Right? Mandalay. And Mandalay says, "Come on, Koda, time to go. Hi, Izuku," with a slight little blush, but she just says, "Hi, Koda, come on, Koda," and "Hi, Kirishima," right? And they say, "Oh, bye, Koda," and Izuku says, "Hi, Mandalay," and yeah, pretty much. And let's say that, damn. So yeah, pretty much, and they leave, and let's say Kodo, no, hold up, Kodo, okay, Koda said, "Mandalay, do you like Izuku a little bit?" And she says, "No, not really. He's a nice boy, and he's too young for me. You know that. I do like him for being how nice he is to you. You are very young, And he says, "Yeah, you do have a point. And Mandalay will not be the ship. She just enjoys talking to Izuku. So yeah. And yeah. And yeah. And we're gonna introduce someone soon. That will be a little pest to Izuku. So yeah. And let's say that hold up. I'm gonna fix my seat. Okay, I just popped my neck. Oh, that feels nice. And let's just say that Izuku left hanging out, or just dipped, right, from hanging out with Kirishima. And Izuku got home, and he just went upstairs, right? And yeah, he was just reading and went to bed. And let's say the next day was a school day, right? And at school, people still talk about Izuku's incident with that villain, but he's okay with it. And let's say when he was at lunch, people were sitting at his table. He's not talking. The only person he's talking to is Bakugo, right? And yeah. And let's just say, hey, I'll be right back. My mother needs me. Peace. I'll be right back. So yeah, pretty much he was just talking to Bakugo. And let's just say that, well, he was wearing glasses because his eyes, as you see here, his vision mirrors projectiles. It's not affected but needs glasses outside combat. Pretty much he's just his eyes when he uses observation, because I'm going to change that, I'm not copying that. When he observation, it's time to time, his eyes will hurt. So he'll put on glasses where he could see better. And it helps his eyes, so yeah. And let's just say now, we go to gym class, and Izuku wants to think of something, right? He knows that he's not allowed to be using his quirk, but the coach, his gym coach and everything, or his teacher, doesn't really care, right? And he actually likes seeing everyone's quirks. So let's say his coach asked them all to see their quirks, right? And they all did. Bakugo's was loud, obviously. Other people's were also loud, but when Izuku came, Izuku arted one hand, but out of nowhere made a blade out of it. And they all got scared for a second, right? And he said, calm down, I was just trying something, right? And it's like a blade that is over his hand, pretty much. He could still move his fingers for a punch and everything. It's not like his whole hand went into a blade. Eventually, he'll learn that. Not fully, though. So, yeah. Smile. So, yeah, pretty much. And, hold on. Oh, my nose itches. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. I don't know why I'm so tired. I shouldn't be. Didn't really do anything. So, yeah, pretty much. And everyone settled down. Bakugo's still a little bit scared, but he's okay. And yeah, I'm gonna keep going because I'm enjoying this. Oh, here's me. Oh, I'm so handsome. I'm not this ugly guy right here. Look at him. He's so stupid. Look how amazing I am, right though. Look at me. I'm so beautiful. I'm so dumb. Yeah. Pretty much. This is my friend. I just screenshotted the photo. This is me on top, and right down there, that guy is Layton. He's a good friend of mine, and yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, pretty much. And let's just go back to the beginning. I'm not kidding. Wait, no, I said that wrong. Okay. Let's just let's okay. Okay. Let's just say hmm. Okay, pretty much. I don't. Okay, so yeah, pretty much, right? And yeah. And let's let's just begin, with their 10 months. After that day, Izuku knew what came to 10 months, right? And for the 10 months, it's interesting, right? It's, just different. He heads to the beach, right? With the beach, With the beach, he clears up everything, right? And yeah. And let's just say that he just kind of got rid of a lot of it, right? He got rid of a lot of trash there with ease. And yeah, let's say with the 5 months in, right? Just the 5 months, right? It's, okay. Just so you know, I'm making this up while I'm going. So if I'm going to stop a little bit, I'm trying to think of what I'm doing next. So yeah, pretty much. And let's just say that sorry, my nose. Okay. That his mom was looking for him, and so was Toshinori, right? They're driving, and let's say that they were talking about Izuku and how he's going pretty well, right? Or how he's doing well, and they're right. It's pretty... Because let's say we go back to Izuku, and Izuku, is very good, right? He's good at what he does, surprising, right? And let's say he's getting better at making different things with his arm. Right now, he's not fully mastered something that he's trying to master. And he's trying to master making blades out of with his arm and stuff, right? But he can't do one thing. He wants to try to shoot projectiles. He doesn't know if it's possible, but he wants to try, where he has some distance from long. And if you go back to the stat now, I would say his intelligence and agility go up still, even more, right? And let's just say that his attack is high, very high. It's about where you see his intelligence and agility in this image, and his defense is higher, though. It's the highest in his stats, pretty much. So, yeah. And, yeah. Pretty much, so, yeah. And let's just say that let's just say that, with you just being by, let's just say, with him being by himself, he can talk to himself, and he starts talking about how he's different from other people. He doesn't act like other people. More people are together, but he acts alone a lot. And yeah, and let's say he didn't notice, but a girl was walking by, and this girl had pink hair, and I'm making this a heroine. Okay, so if you know who the pink girl is, it's May, obviously, and the other girl will come in later. Okay, so yeah, pretty much. And he's talking to himself and saying, the only people that are smart is actual people that are in support course, right? And yeah, and the girl heard that and said, "You ain't wrong, kid. You ain't wrong, right?" And he jumps a little and says, "Huh? Who's there?" Right? And then he sees the girl, and he says, "Who are you?" And she says, "Me, I'm May Hasame or something. I don't know what my name is time to time. I know it's May, though. That's what my first name, right?" And she's a pretty kind girl. He notices that pretty fast. And he says, "Sorry if you heard me talking to myself." And she says, "Calm down. It's okay. I'm kind of in the support course. Not fully. I'm just make gadgets. Soon will be in the support course. Going to UA, you know?" And he says, "Yeah, my dream too." And yeah, pretty much. And they talk a little bit longer. Parents find him and yeah, take him home to talk about him and yeah. And I'm gonna end it there because the next part will be him doing the entrance exam and yeah. So yeah, pretty much. And I very hope you guys do enjoy it. And I am just gonna do this outro, what anime is. So peace.